Hello, hello, hello. I'm gonna preface this very much with this is a kind of wing it, um, kind of stream. 'Cause originally I was not going to stream today, but I totally forgot to cancel it until I got the notification. I'm like, right. I was supposed to cancel it. but um but yeah, here we are. It is what it is. Um it's also very much a wing it kind of situation because I'm not entirely sure how to plan my August. Uh because a bunch of things are some personal things that are going to shake up the rest of my year for a little bit. Um and then August is also a month. One of my coworkers is not able to work for most of the month. So while I am telling myself to expect that gonna have a um the weight of my work is gonna be like more than normal. I actually have no real idea how that's gonna shape because again, I don't know my schedule. Like I know my schedule for next week, but I won't know my upcoming schedule until like the Thursday or Friday prior that week. So while I know that coworker is not gonna be available for pretty much the entire month. I think they are available towards the end of the month. Um and I'm like looking at my calendar and thinking out of the 4 weeks and like 3 days August has, I'm pretty sure three of those, which is the entire month, give it or take, I will be doing my work and their work. And I don't know how that's gonna pan out, if it's gonna be like me mostly working afternoons, or is it a lot of like full on 8 hour work days, or what's gonna, I don't know. And I know that when I have full days of work, my energy for creative things seriously depletes. Because when I spend 8 hours doing um, things related to numbers and money, my brain is tapped out once I'm gone. And I need to sneeze. And as soon as I mute myself, I am not gonna sneeze. So yeah, it's now stuck in this nostril, and I don't like it. It's very uncomfortable. Anyways, so I don't know exactly how I'm gonna plan. So I don't know how successful this planning stream is gonna be because I just like I don't know. I I do know that I had to switch some things for Sally for personal reasons. And I am prioritizing like hard deadlines that are not necessarily imposed by myself. and push what I can push as far as I can push it. Um, so that's another thing. Uh, but times. Uh, but I also want to prepare other things for next year. But again, if I work a lot of full days, I am not gonna have that much energy. And I don't know if I'll have the discipline to make myself do that. So, rant aside, hi. If by any chance this is the first time you are tuning in my channel, hi, I'm Esther Marie Andujar. I'm a Puerto Rican writer aspiring to be a hybrid career author. I mostly stream on Friday evenings. The Every Friday except the last one of each month, there are writing productivity streams, and then the last one we do a planning stream. Um, and I yeah, I keep going back and forth about blogging, but then again, there's not a lot of things that I can say it like share publicly. So it's kind of hard. Uh, I don't know. This might just be a streaming channel, and that's it. Uh, um, um, what else? I am pretty chaotic. Um, I'm not usually this frazzled. But that's the state I've been for a couple of days, and it has exacerbating, and I just like don't know when I'm gonna unfrazzle. So, if this is your first impression, I'm glad that you're like we're getting the crazy chaotic Esther out of the way, and next time you're probably gonna encounter a more um I don't know, a more normal quote unquote Esther. I don't know. Let me go ahead and say hi to my friends here on chat. We have JC. Hello, hello. We got Renee. Hi, hi, hi. We got Rachel. Hello, hello. How is everyone doing? Are you guys ready to plan things? Or are you just having me as a white noise while you do other things? As always, if you have any questions, please do start them with the queue so I can see them easier. So I'll go ahead through the questions that I usually ask on the monthly planning streams and see how can how am I going to tackle them if I can find a way to tackle them? I don't know. Rachel says, I just find out there may be more chaos here with kiddo moving back in and also other kiddos visiting in September and me trying to get 3 books out. So I'm winging my planning. Totally understand that. I was curious to see how you word things. So, okay, usually for planning streams, this is kind of like how I go about it, which again because I don't have a good picture of how my August is gonna look like. This is gonna be a little bit harder for me to plan. Uh, but alas, I'll walk through through the questions and see Let's go through the journey together. How about that? That sound interesting? JC says, not too long ago, getting back in the house, I got rained on because it started storming just as I was walking across the parking lot. So that was fun. Rain on. Like, I today, one of the things that I wanted to do was get a lot of like laundry done, but our laundry room is in a section that we don't have a ceiling, so I will have to go outside, and it has been raining on and off the entire day. And I was telling my mom I am not gonna go outside and just get rain on because that's how I get sick. I get rain on, and because I don't get rain on that much, it's just a sprinkle, and I don't change clothes, then I get sick. And I know in August, one of my coworkers is not going to be available for most of the month. So it's going to land on me to do their work. And I just cannot afford to get sick. So I am hoping that tomorrow morning I can do at least one load. And then hopefully I can do most of it on Sunday. I think I do have Monday off too, so I have a couple of more days to do it. But I wanted to like get kind of like a head start. Didn't happen. Just it sucks. Let's see. I also just had food from your favorite place. I use my reward points. Well, if you're talking about Panda Express, they stopped being my favorite place because they do not carry the sweet and fat the sweet fire chicken anymore. So at least they don't carry here in Puerto Rico. So I have not like I had one, I think I had today because I was craving white rice, and there wasn't that many restaurants that were carrying white rice. So I did white rice with kung pao chicken because I know kung pao chicken has a little bit of spice, just a little bit. It's not enough to do anything for me, but I had it, and then I remember I was like, this is why I stopped eating a panda. Cause it's not the same. Because they don't carry that chicken, the other ones are not my taste. So, and they mess up my mom's order. So I think this household it's done with panda. So yeah, Uh, I do want to plan, but I need to decompress first. You go ahead and decompress and maybe start thinking about how you want to go ahead with your planning. I'm going towards, I hope so. Um, let's see. Yes, gas. Yeah. So strange fact, I never been to Panda. I mean, is your very Americanized Chinese restaurant? It's not bad. It's not the greatest, but especially when here in Puerto Rico we have a lot of like locally owned Chinese restaurant that are a little bit more um what is it called? Uh, they're a little more authentic, and they do really cool things like fusion, like trying to fusion Puerto Rican cuisine with Chinese cuisine, and they always come up with really cool things. Um, so yeah, I think Panda Express is a more palatable Chinese food um for a bigger mass of people. Um, so they have it here. I mean, I don't get it, but there are big signs with it on there every time I go there. Oh, Loki, lucky you. Yeah, they remove it from Puerto Rican restaurants. Hello, cool. Also, I'm not ignoring your question, Renee. I think I'm gonna go ahead and go through the questions that I normally do for the stream to start planning, and then I'll go ahead and answer your questions. So I am not like a pinball jumping everywhere. Okay, so I usually start with this question. I take stock on the past month and find any of my loose ends. So for me, July, the only loose ends that I have is the draft and obviously consequential like revisions and editing and proofreading and like just the entire production of a Sally book. And also the other thing that I have loose is the outline of the last collab book Sally is participating in, which I will be completely tying that loose end before July ends, so I don't have to carry it with me on August. What I will carry with me is the actual production of the book, so the writing, the revising, the editing, and all that. What I know I will certainly carry with me is that second book that Sally is writing for a series. It was supposed to get done in July, but I had to like switch things around to prioritize one deadline over the other after some things that happened privately. Um, and I am like I am circling around a lot of things because I just don't want to say what it is. Um, the only thing I can say is that it's just not fun. So hate that, however you want to take it. Um, so yeah, I I just got to move things around. So I am prioritizing a harder deadline so I can get that done and out of my desk, and for that to not add to the already stress and anxiety I'm gonna be in for the foreseeable future. Um, and then what that book that was supposed to be done in July, I will deal with that towards the mid to end of August. So that is a whole loose end um, that I have to carry with me. And yeah, I don't think I know. I don't have that many. If I think about like my work, like what's paying the bills right now, I do have a couple of loose ends, but hopefully they will get done by the end of the month. They need to get done by the end of the month because we need to close the fiscal year. Um, but it may happen that we are not able to fully close it. So there's that. Um, and I'm thinking personally, I don't have anything from July because I think there's one thing that I need to do for mom, but I'm gonna see if I can do that before July ends. Ideally, it will be good for me to do it before July ends, but also life. Like, it is what it is. So after I take a stock of all of my loose ends and I talk a little bit about this, I, pinpoint what's coming with me for the next one. And for sure, that second book that was supposed to get done in July is coming with me for August. Um, and the other things that I mentioned are very possible for me to finish them before July ends. So at this point in time, the only thing I'm bringing with me from July to August is that specific book. After that, I do write down any important dates and any non-negotiables for the month of August. Um, I'm kind of like looking at, I have a calendar on my external monitor, which is to the side. Um, and I don't think I have yeah, I don't think I have any specific dates. Um, yeah, there's no holidays. I don't have any birthdays. Um, I mean, there's one thing that's probably going to be a non-negotiable, but I don't have any dates or time for it. So that's just gonna land on my calendar whenever it lands, and anything that is on that day is just gonna have to move. Um, but I I'm aware that that's gonna happen. So when it happens, I'm not gonna fret about it because I know it's gonna happen. I just don't know when exactly. Um, so I uh, yeah, no, I don't have yeah, I don't have any like specific dates or non-negotiables besides my job because I know there there's a few Saturdays that I can absolutely not ask for unless the non-negotiable that I don't have a day lands on a Saturday, then I may have to let my work know and be like, hey, I cannot work that Saturday for this reason. You figure it out. Um, uh, sorry, I got a message that made me laugh. Um, so yeah, at least for like important dates and non-negotiable, August is easy peasy right now. So this is the part that I'm gonna have the most problem with. Is gonna be what are the things that I'm gonna be working on August, and if possible, can them finish by dates. So at least last night I did a little bit of that for Sally because I had to like switch around projects. I had to put on my calendar what were my brackets of time. So that collab book that it I have to get it done. That has a the drafting has a deadline of August 11. I do have a deadline of doing my read through with my notes. The deadline for that is on the 16th. And then my first round of revisions, it has to get done by August 31st. So those are hard deadlines that I have. Also, the book that I was supposed to finish on July that got moved to August, that one, uh, that one, at least the draft needs to get done by August 31st. Yes. I do because I check. I do have a caveat. The revision of the collab book, the deadline is September 1st. I'm Whenever I am working on multiple things, but they are different stages of the writing, I try to have them start and end at different dates just in case something happens, because you cannot predict life. So I will be starting a draft a day or two, either prior or later than the other thing that I'm doing. So it's not like I am drafting and revising for 2 weeks straight. It's more like probably a week and a half. I'm going to be working on both things, but their starting and ending times are different. Um, that way, I don't super stress myself. And I say I don't super stress myself. I Because Sally's not the only name. I have projects. I have active projects because I'm also writing my second paranormal romance that I serialized through Coffee and Patreon, and I am rebuilding a bank of episodes that I can hopefully start releasing and have enough space that I can just keep writing and I still have a buffer time. Um, so there's that. And then there are the books that I'm working under my name. There's that. There's other things. There's a lot of plates that I have, you know, spinning all around me. Um, so I always have to I stack things. I just try to have them not starting or ending on the same date. So I am not working on 5 things in a period of 2 weeks straight. So honestly, that so doing those two projects, which for one is a drafting and a revision, and for the other one is just a draft. And then I am continuing drafting episodes for my serialized paranormal romance, and I am slowly working on my Esther project. So I know I sound crazy, and it is a lot. I just have to plan a lot and compartmentalize a lot. So at any given time during the month of August, I will be working on 5 projects. They're just not all 5 projects in the same dates. Um, and because that will be insane. And I am crazy, but not that crazy. Uh So let's see. And that's pretty much how I end things. Um, I do have that, and then I just go ahead and carry on with my day to day. So let me go ahead and check on the questions. If anyone else has any questions, just again, starting with the queue, and I'll go ahead and get that. So the first one that we have is Renee ask, how do you go about planning your writing social tasks for every week? Also, how do you not let the socials over the writing? It just seems so overwhelming to me. Okay, so I'm gonna answer the second question first and then the first question, because the second question is a little more important and it's gonna carry a hard truth that not a lot of people like to say. You have to prioritize your writing because if you don't write books, and if publishing is your goal and your dream, if you don't publish books, then there's no purpose to your socials. And that's why I do the caveat, like, if your goal is to write and publish books, that has to be the priority. And yes, there's a lot of people that you're gonna hear me say they have to be consistent with social, blah blah blah. But again, you cannot sell a product that doesn't exist. You cannot promote a story that is not written and out. So your priority throughout your entire author career, it is to write the books that you want to write and get them to the publishing quality and state that you want and release them. At the end of the day, having books out are always gonna be the best way to move your other books. Time and time again, authors will remind newer authors and aspiring authors that your newest release is going to be the best promotion to your backlist. So, priority is your writing and to get the book. The socials can and will have to wait. Again, if writing and publishing is your goal. If you just want to um, connect with other creatives and kind of like have a if writing and having a community of peers, it's very important to you, they're almost equal goals, then I will recommend to like schedule like in your calendar block time for writing and block time not only to create content but to actually engage with other people, comment and respond, comment to other people, respond to comments, things like that. But that is if they are almost equally your goal. But if your goal is publishing, if your goal is to put your stories out, then the book production needs to be your priority. And now for the first question, how do I go about planning my writing, my social media? I block I block time in my calendar to write. I When I feel very tired If I feel like I am struggling creatively, I reach out to some of my writer friends and um, see if there's anyone available to hop on backstage. I am very lucky that I have a group of writers that they are constantly be like, hey, who wants to do some co-working? And almost every day there is a link on the group chat where someone is working and we can just come in and co-work. Um, so I am gonna say I'm very lucky that I'm part of that group and there's a link almost every day. So that helps. Um, also, when that is not available, I either stream myself or go to a stream and kind of like work with other people. Um, I work better when I have pockets of focused writing time. Also because I get interrupted a lot in my house, so I need those 20, 25 minutes, 30 minutes of like this is the only thing that I need to do is write. And once that is done, if someone call me, then I can just go and be like, okay, what do you need? How why did you call me? That kind of thing. Um, Also, it has already set an expectation to my family that if I am saying I am writing, they know that there's going to be some pockets of time that I may have 5 to 10 minutes to go and check what they need, why was I called, um, and get that resolved, and then I can sit down for another 20, 25, 30 minutes. For my socials, what I try to do. So this is something that I have on my Notion. I usually, when the book is done, I find passages of things I feel and know that are going to pique readers' interest. And then I decide if that's gonna be a reel, if that's gonna be a carousel, if that's just gonna be a static post. Um, so honestly, I pull the content out of the book. Um, I besides the Esther Marie brand, none of my other brands are about the writing and about the life of a writer. All of my socials are just about the books and the story, and just like letting um, possible readers know, hey, this is what's on my book. Um, I shared snippets. Sometimes I created a little video with kind of like images or maybe a video that's similar to the scene, and I put the scene. I compress it a little bit. I don't put it all. I compress the scene and kind of like to the juicier parts of the scene, and that's what I share. I am also slowly trying to pivot from being like so social media focused, because Sally, I pretty much, because I did a lot of social media experiments with Sally. um it's very social media focused, so I know that if I do certain things, I will see a spike of reading for Sally, or I may see a couple of sales for Sally. But I don't want to be so social media dependent to sell my books. So I am slowly, it's very slow, but I'm very slowly trying to switch the type of marketing that I do that is not too social media heavy. But um the way that I do a lot of my socials, I love Canva. I am not an affiliate, anything like that. If I remember correctly, they pretty much just closed the affiliate program a couple of years ago. But I use it. I have it on my phone, so it is right here. So a lot of the times I go to my Notion, which is right beside it, um, get the scene that I already wrote down in my Notion, and I go on the app Canva, and maybe while I have a break, like I need a 15-minute break of all the numbers that I've been dealing with at work, and I'm just like 15 minutes on my phone building the the reel or the carousel or the static post, um, and just building it on the phone. Uh, and usually I will download it on my phone and then I'll go directly to the app. And if I am not posting it that day, I'll just schedule it. Um, so I don't do I don't do a lot of social media on my laptop. I do it most on my phone because that means that I can just do something at any point that I have 10 to 15 minutes. Maybe I'm on the line to order food. I'll just go ahead and open Canva and work on graphics and let me change this font and things like that. Other thing, you can recycle your post. You just have to time it out. So hear me out. This is something that I told Dee and Des. I remember telling Dee, I'm not 100% sure if Des was in the conversation, but this is one thing that I notice other people do, and I have done it myself, and I am flabbergasted that it works, but you can recycle your posts depending on the platform. There might be a week and a half to 2 weeks, maybe a month that you have to wait to space them out. I sadly I'm not gonna be able to show you the post because that will be giving Sally away. But one of the things that I did to check if this was really true, um, there are two posts for Sally, identical post, identical. I did not change the photos. I did not change the test. The I think the only thing that changed was the music, if I remember correctly. What I did is like the first time I posted, um, that I think it got over 2,000 views. And I feel like I waited like for 2 weeks, and this is TikTok. So TikTok has a quicker turnaround. So you might be able to recycle posts a little faster on TikTok compared to Instagram or Facebook or Twitter/X. Because I don't know. I still call it Twitter. I am that kind of old, whatever. Um, and 2 weeks later, I uploaded the same TikTok, same TikTok. Like I didn't even change the cover. It is exactly the same. It got over 1,000 views. So between those, It's over 3,000 views. And I just did that. I did that content once. So you can recycle content. Like you don't have to create new content, new however many pieces of content you create. Some people do something every day. Some people do twice a week, 3 times a week, 1 times a week. Like, uh, you don't need 30 new, completely new pieces of content. You can just do, maybe you can do 10 and then find the best performing ones of like the month prior or 2 months prior and use those, recycle those. There's enough time pass that it's not gonna affect, like people are not gonna be like, oh, I already saw this. Some do, but not the majority of people. So don't feel bad recycling your content. You just have to find what's the time. I would let you know right now if you're on the TikTok, um, like some people say the TikTok, um, 2 weeks is enough time between content for you to recycle. But recycle content that is performing well. If you have content that is not performing well, just let it go. Let it go. Learn from it and move on. The one that is performing well, you know, go at it again so it can rank up more views. Hopefully that answered your question. So prioritize your writing, 100% prioritize your writing and producing the book, and then just get the social media in like pockets of time throughout the day. Maybe you're sitting at a doctor's appointment and you're waiting for like 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. You might just want to, take just 10 minutes to do all of it. It's not like you have to do it and post it. Just do the content and come back to it later. Um, creating You don't have to create the content and post it at the same time. Um, so let me go to the other question and then look at all of the comments that you guys have left because I see it. Um, how do you balance the switch between projects? Okay, this is gonna be like very me specific, and people in chat that do switch between projects, um leave your suggestions on chat for Renee. For me, I so mainly is my music playlist. I have playlists for all of my projects. So whenever I am switching projects, I switch the playlist and I listen to the playlist for like 15 minutes. And I am not updating the document. I just want to listen to it so my brain can just, move into that project vibe and mindset and things like that. Um, I also, if I am working on Sally, which is a contemporary romance pen name, I am not gonna go and work on another contemporary romance project. I will probably just move to a fantasy project, or the closest it will be like a my paranormal romances, and I will switch to those if the content that I'm writing it's very different from the contemporary. Like if I'm writing contemporary romance, and the next thing that I need to write for my paranormal romance is like a lovey, romantic scene, maybe a steamy scene. I'm not gonna change to that. I will just go to a fantasy because it's still very similar, and I may just mess it up, which sometimes happens. Sometimes I just write the wrong character name and I'm like, no, this is not what I'm writing. So when I switch project, they have to be very different. And before I move from one document to the other, I have my playlist for the project I'm switching, and I listen to it for 10, 15, 20 minutes so my brain readjusts. That's how I switch projects. Again, if people in the chat are used to switching projects, let Renee know what you recommend to do. Now, okay. I know JC answered one of the questions. Uh, and we got an Eva coming in. Hello, hello. Yes, 5 projects in the same stage it's very overwhelming. So just pick one, get that to the next stage, and then if you want to work on multiple projects, you don't have to. Just pick one, finish the brainstorm. If you're gonna outline, go ahead and outline. Go ahead and start drafting before you go and grab another project. We got a Joanne coming in. Hello, hello. Okay, here we have a question. Rachel asks, how much time do you give for padding in case something comes up that is unexpected during a month? Okay. Usually, if you if I would show my calendar, I usually have 1 or 2 days between different stages. So I have 1 or 2 days between the drafting and the read and the notes, and then 1 or 2 days between that read through with the notes to the revision, so on and so forth. There's sometimes that life happens and it will eat my buffer, and I am gonna be honest, and this is probably something I can do because I'm an able body, and that is a huge caveat that I need to mention. Sometimes I just have to suck it up, especially if it's a collaboration deadline. That is something I am due to another person, so there's not that much wiggle room there. So if the buffer that I built, the padding that I built already got 8, I will suck it up. But again, I am able body. I do not suffer from any, thank God and knock on wood. I don't suffer from any illnesses that are like obstacles to my everyday life. Like the only times that are obstacles is when I get my period, but I usually kind of like have things that I can do when I'm on my period so I can keep the ball rolling. I just know that during that week that I'm on my period, there's not a lot that's gonna get done, and it's just life. This is what I've been dealing with for over 2 decades, so it's not something new for me. But I had to do that caveat. I can suck it up because I have an able body. For those who have chronic illnesses, I will recommend that when you put some padding and buffer, you double it because you are always going to underestimate the buffer and the padding you're gonna need. So if you think having 3, 4 days enough is for buffer or padding, double it. Make it 6 or 8 days. It's gonna take longer. You might have to say no to some things, but in the long run, your mental health is gonna be better. The way that you build your author business is gonna be healthier. You're not going to um what perpetuate bad habits from the beginning. So for all of my chronic illness warriors out there, whatever buffer you think is good enough, double it. Please, please, please do so. Um, so yeah. And also because I know my periods are like really bad, I usually cut off my calendar 5 to 10 days. So a lot of the times I am not working with like 30 or 31 days. A lot of the time I just work with 20, 21, maybe 22 days. So when I'm telling you build that buffer and double it, just hear the man of just do it. Just do it, please. We got a D. Hello, hello. And yes, anyone can answer that too. Let's see. I am so sorry that you're still nauseous, D. I'm sorry. I hope you feel better. Again, ice, friend, ice. It will be your friend. Let's see. We got a Regina. Hello, hello. And we got our friend Nicole. Hi, hi, hi. We got a Des. Hello, hello. Let's see. I feel like I missed out on a question from Eva. Wait. I feel like I saw a question from Eva. Hold on. Am I imagining it? Eva, if you asked a question and I missed it, please let me know. Because I feel like you asked a question I feel like I have not seen it. Uh, let's see. This is fabulous. Regina is like, I'm terrible about social media. I'm hoping my new website will help. Fingers crossed. I'm hoping to go live at the end of July. It is the 25th already. Yes. Um, definitely. I don't know how much I can say, but I know there's gonna be something that I will approach that's not going to have pretty much no social media. Um, and that's gonna be an interesting project. Uh, because I have not delved in it yet. I don't have much information. Um, but I am confident that I will be a books will be able to, sell and find readers without me touching social media until like super later on. And I might not have to touch social media at all. But again, whenever I get to that, I will share. Um, results. So yeah, I'm so impressed that you do all that on your phone. Honestly, I I don't like this. I'm gonna say this. I don't like the phone, the size of the phone, because it's too big for my hand. My hand is like the size of my hand, and it kind of like cramps up my fingers a little bit. But I can do so much on the go, on the fly with the phone. It's such a blessing. And if anyone who's like phone savvy, or can learn, definitely I will recommend to do some things on your phone so you can, take advantage on like maybe you're waiting in line on the grocery store and the line is like super long and they're not moving fast enough, or and everyone in front of you, their cart is like full and it's taking so long. And it's like at that point you can just, 5 minutes to do, I'll start a little bit of something that you can finish later on. Um, a lot of the admin things for authors can be done in like very small pockets of time. It's just something that you just gotta not have in the back of your mind, more like in the side of your mind, and be like, where can I sneak this in? Where can I move the needle just a little bit forward? So at other times it's less overwhelming, or maybe I can, because I did this in the line at the groceries or the line at the bank, or waiting for a doctor's appointment and things like that, I save myself, I don't know, probably another 30-minute sprint that you can give that towards your writing or your editing or your revising. So that's some thoughts. Yes, I I definitely recycle post. Definitely. Hello, budget. Planning stream. I need more planning in my life. Definitely. Um, when the cheatsy works. Yes, 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 yes. Let's see. Paget said it's overwhelming to me too, Renee. I'm sorry. There's a lot of great guys how to manage social media admin while still getting the actual right. Yes. Uh, Tiki Talk is easier, yes. Pat just says, I feel like I can only write, and then refill well, and then, oh no, my house is a disaster. And then, like, I have texted myself writing snippets, so I do those. And then, do you see what I mean? Like, it's one task for several days, and then the next, but only because their next becomes necessary. I can write without refilling well, can refill well when house falling down. Yes, I kind of like I do understand this. Um, th- uh, this is a little harder because every family unit is gonna be different. Um, like in my household, because I do have a senior mom that she has a lot of ailments. A lot of the everyday household things are on my plate. So I personally prioritize a writing, and then I do a little bit of something. I I am not an all or nothing kind of personality, but I am the type of person that when I start something, I want to end it on the first go. So that's why I binge watch things, I binge read, that kind of situation. I have to tell myself that I don't, because of what I'm prioritizing, I cannot have that mindset at all. So I am slowly teaching myself and pushing myself to be like, I will do what I can in 15 minutes, and that's it. I have to move on. I may not be able to wash all the dishes. I may do one round of laundry. I may just sweep just a section of the house, but it's like just what I can do in those 15 minutes, and that's it. Um, and slowly, eventually, the house will be less of a war zone, and I will still be writing, and I will still be refilling the well, and I, to a certain extent, will still be creating social media. But that's going to be very dependent on the household, because not every household is the same. So D ask the $1 million question though. What do you call performing well on the pain app? So TikTok. Cause currently being a pain to D. Um, so performing well for me, one, I have to look, so you have to be able to know what performing well for you means, you have to have a good amount of content. And when I say a good amount of content, I am saying more than a month's worth of posts. So you need data to know what is performing well. I know um none of my posts have gone viral. So viral will mean anything in the double digits. So anything 10K, 20K, 30K, 40K, 50K, 100K, 200K views. That is overall considered viral. My posts are not there. But I know for the data that I have, anything that goes beyond 1,000 views is performing well. The other way that I can confirm that is I go to my backend on KDP. And again, this is a lot easier when you have books out because then you have two sets of data that you can kind of like cross and see if there are any correlation. So I have done a couple of TikTok experiments on Sally's TikTok, and I have tracked on this planner when I post, what I post, which book did I post about, how long it was, what were the views, what were the likes, and then at the end of the experiment, I went and checked out my KDP dashboard and look throughout that period how many reads I got from KU, did I got any orders. It's all of this data coming from the books that I was promoting, or are they coming from another book? Because Sally has a bestseller, and that book sells every single damn day, and I don't know how to replicate, but it's doing. It's thing. I don't have. I barely promote that book, and it sells. So that's the golden child, and it will stay the golden child. Um, but I just go and look at that data and compare and see what is doing well. Now, if you're someone who doesn't have any books out yet and you want to gauge, one, you need to have a good amount of content, more than a month, so you can have some data. Um, and you can see what usually your view stays. um, kind of like the average amount of likes that you might get. Maybe you have some saves. So if you don't have any content and you have more than the average views that you get, and those do have more than the average like that you get, and you get some saves, that is that's performing well. Um, so you may just have to look and replicate or go ahead and post it again and see how it performs out. Because some of the sometimes uh, I put the post again, and still a lot of not a lot of the time. Sometimes the first time I post it, that's the performing well, and then the second time it doesn't perform well. And sometimes the second time that I reposted it like blew out of the water the first time that I posted. So you just have to like constantly look at your data, and this is very important. Remove any emotions and validation. Like, you're not looking at the data to validate you as a author. You're not looking at the data for any um like motivation or like positive emotion. Just look at it very clinically and be like, this is the data, this is this, none of that has emotions. They don't know you as a person. The data doesn't know the quality of your writing. Like, it has nothing against you or for you, because has absolutely no stakes in your self-worth. So do not attach any of those feelings to this. Just look at it like you just, this is just a guide of, is this doing well? Yes, okay, I can keep using it. If this not doing well, okay, I'm just gonna move on and do other things. We don't have all the time in the world to linger on things that are not helpful. Um okay. Let's see. There's been some conversation. Let's see. Some more conversation. This is a good uh answer to one of the questions. So D, which is also like myself, a woman with a lot of names. D does different projects in different days. Um, Example, a full day of Lily and then a full day of Deidre. Is this a Q&A session? Oh, it has turned into that. Because I explained kind of like, for me planning August, it's a little hard because I not entirely sure what to expect. So yeah. Uh, this is Rachel question about like working on multiple things. So Rachel staggers project. So she'll be like having a draft going on and then revisions on another. And then there's a project off with betas. And that is also true when you send a project with two betas, then you have space to work on something else. Um, you can keep asking questions like, when has that stopped you? The I love this. I should try replaying Esther streams in the background and see if hearing a friendly voice can give me the courage to work on Insta post. If that's what you need, Regina, I mean, there's a bunch of streams, there's a bunch of vlogs, like There's enough content. Let's see. Thank you all so much for the advice for me moving forward. You can do it. Definitely, you can do it, Renee. You just got to make a decision. Which feels a little bit what you may be dealing with, a little bit of decision paralysis. Because, when we get overwhelmed, we just don't know what to decide. Just pick something. Just pick something. At the end of the day, when someone tells you you can only pick one thing, at the back of your mind, there's one thing that you want to do. Go ahead and do it. Um, Yes, I think Esther Melodious voice could be helpful. Thank you. Um, Also 2D. That makes sense too. That way you can stay in headspace for the project for that day. Yes, yes, yes. Also, the staggering is cool. Paget used to do one at a time because I was afraid that I would lose momentum and wouldn't finish. But now that fear is gone, the only momentum that matters is writing, period. Yes. I meant like writing full stop, not writing above the curse. Not that there's anything wrong with that, true. Let's see. Yep, I underestimated all the time how much I buffer I actually need. Yes, definitely. Chronic illness buddies double that buffer time. Uh, Biggest energy is energy levels because obstacle. For me is more like brain capacity because of the work that I do. Um, This is my mom is the only one privy to see how much like that brain I come after work. Because there are plenty of times that if I'm working 5 hours, the 5 hours I am logged in working in, like, for anyone who does like budget for your household. Imagine having to do those type of numbers and other number related tasks for 5 hours straight. Like a lot of the times I just come home and I lay on my bed and I just look at the ceiling because I am brain dead. And that's when working on my author business becomes really hard because I just don't have the brain capacity. I may have the energy, I'm wide awake, it's the night, I'm out of I'm out of work. I can do all the things that I want, but my brain is a big and there's nothing there. There's nothing there in the nugget because I spent it all. So that's for me when it gets really hard. Um, just brain dead, brain dead. Um, Hatchet is like, I know, right? Esther voice is the perfect combo of supported and firm. The person you go for advice that won't break you. No, thank you. I try. I try. Honestly, I am usually more blunt to people who are like very close. Because they have warm up to my no nonsense kind of personality. Um, when I am more in like bigger communities like this, like you guys, I am not lying to you guys. I am more aware of the words that I want to use, the tone that I want to use. Like I I want to be I want you to like see and feel and understand that I am giving you my very honest answer in the strictest loving way possible. Like I am not gonna cuddle you, but I also not going to smack you on the back of your head. It is more of like I'm gonna hold your hand and I may just slap it a little bit, just a little bit, because gotta wake up. We cannot be doing this to ourselves. Um, so that kind of like approach, like it also there's a lot of people, and I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. Um, and I have built like I have built different relationships with all of you guys, so I had to be mindful of that. Because the last thing that I want to do is make you feel bad and like push back your progress. Um, and also, like I keep saying, I am not in the business of tearing people down. I am in the business of building people up. So, and the I will be the most honest, loving ma'am kind of person in your community. Why do I feel slightly color with that piece of advice? Wait, which one? The chronic illness one? I mean, it was not calling anyone specific, but the shoe fits. Oh no. Uh, saying whatever amount time estimated, I will take it plus 5. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Uh, let's see. I don't think I asked any questions. Were you asking me? I don't know why I thought I saw your profile. There was like a comment with a question. I may be hallucinating. It's okay. It's fine. Again, I want to make sure that I like to like reach out and talk and like um answering all the questions and comments that are not like conversations between you guys. Because I love when you guys have conversations because I'm just like I'm reading it even though they're not up on the screen. I am reading it like the nosy Nelly I am. But I'm not putting them on the screen. But know that I am reading. But gotta get the tea. Even if the tea is something like nice and positive. I just want to know. Um, let's see. I have trouble making posts even on coffee because if it's not fiction, I get time. What should I write about? What do you want to share with people? If you want to share. If not, then, well, also, this is something that I and a lot of other authors will tell you. Like, if you don't want to be on social media, you do need a newsletter because you need a way to communicate with your readers. But if what's stopping you to write any of those pieces of content is like it's not fiction, so why should I write? The same way I will just think it in like the same in a very similar way that you want to talk with other like writers or other readers that might be what you want to do. um so besides like sharing, so I do a couple of things for my newsletter and I know some of my friends do something similar and it works for them. So readers oftentimes want more information about the characters and the setting than it's on the book because they want to linger longer in the book and the story after they are done. So um, that is something that you can share on your newsletter or your coffee or your website if you have a blog site on your website. So you open a space that is related to your fiction that will allow your readers to spend a little longer with the characters and a little longer in the town that they were in. And maybe you introduce them to some side characters that they like and maybe tease that they might be books for those characters. Again, it's just like the readers, when they love a book, they want to stay as long as possible. In those additional content, as an author, you can create and allow the reader to spend a little longer with the book, with the story, with the characters, with the town. So that if you want to be reader focused, that will be a thing. If you want to be more like author writer focused, then just you can talk about the writing, the what your favorite things about writing, your favorite stages, what is hard for you about writing, what books you really enjoy um, that are related. It might be crafting book, it might be fiction book that you're like, I am getting ready to write in this genre, and these are all the books that I read and has made me understand the genre and fall in love with the genre, things like that. Um, Hopefully that helps. Regina, you let me know if that helped or not. Um, I love this. I am sorry. It was like I tried repo on my own and made it about 30 seconds. I love you, Eva. It's that took a lot of courage. Um, yes. If you try it again and you want some company so you can maybe stay a little longer, let us know. Let's see. Rachel says, I use my method for social media until I'm ready for something better. Whatever I'm doing or into at the moment, I post. That's a great, that's a very, like, to me, that feels a very genuine, laid back approach to social media. And again, prioritize the writing. Nothing will sell your book better than your new release. I'm telling you. Okay, this was a conversation with Des. Uh, you're wel- you're welcome. Hope you have a great rest of your evening. Take care, friend. Let's see. Uh, that's a answer about content from Eva to Regina, which I love. I love this. I don't know if I'll try it again, Des. Frady cat. Uh, Honestly, Eva, I am gonna say this. Repo with friends, it's a lot more fun than by yourself. And this comes from someone who like plays on her own. Like I single play almost as often as I play with friends. So it's just some que tú quieres. Que tú quieres. We got a Sam here. Let me see if I can show her. 1 second. Let me see if she will allow it. Uh Hold on. Hold on, Maggie. Maggie. No, vente del otro lado. Vente del otro lado. Vente del otro lado para poder cogerte. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Ay, Dios mío. Tú estás tan pesado. Oh, we gotta see you. We gotta see you. We gotta see you. We gotta see you. She's like, can you stop this? I will. I will. Stop. Oh, oh. Here she goes. No. Oh, God. She's hilarious. Let me. Okay. Gonna put this up, but let me make sure that almost everyone got. Okay. So, yes, most people got Sam. Okay. So Renee asks, how far ahead do you plan IG or social post? How far in advance are you working on newsletters? Fantastic question. That varies. So I don't post on social media every day. I do it every once in a while. Um, when I'm running experiments, when I'm gonna try something new, then I go ahead and do it for a good amount of time, 2, 3, 4 weeks, so I can gather enough data. But that's not my go-to normal post. Like I don't do daily posts. Um, I personally know that if I sit down to create content and schedule it, I will probably get tired and peter out anything between when I get to like 10 or 15 pieces of content. So I don't plan it that far ahead because I cannot do big batches of content. A lot of the times because I work on it like in pockets of time during the week, I will just try to have things scheduled or at least on the draft so I can every so often, maybe twice a week, most likely twice a week. I don't post that much. Um, push it or it's already scheduled. Um, Again, this is a little hard to answer because I do not sit myself and be like, okay, I'm gonna plan all of my social media. Not really. Again, my approach is like the book is done. I'm gonna go ahead and put on my Notion page for the book scenes, pieces of dialogue, uh, just things that I know will be interesting for a reader, and that's what I'm gonna pull. And then when I'm ready to post, I'll just be like, "Oh, I haven't done this scene," or I had done this scene, but I want to do something a little bit different for this scene." And then in pockets of times, I will just do the reel or the TikTok or the carousel or the polls or whatever I decide to do. I'll do it on my phone, pockets of time, and either I post it or I schedule it. I I plan my writing because that's my priority. I sort of wing it a little bit on my social media because I pull out of the books. Um, so, for example, and I have not done the video, so I'll see if I can do it. Um, for my holiday romance, there is a scene where they are ice skating and all of the times they have ice skate together, he promised her, like continuously promised her that she's not gonna fall, her body's not gonna touch the ice, blah blah blah. And there's a moment that she does falters and falls, but she falls on top of him. And he reminds her that he promised her that her body wouldn't touch the ice. So I know that is a scene that I know will catch the eye of some readers. So I'll just, the same scene, I will present it in 100 different ways. Um, and I'll just post it whenever I have that piece of content. Um, so yeah, how far advance I work on my newsletter, it depends on what I want to share. I am supposed to do one newsletter per week. I definitely don't do that. Um, but I am trying a little bit more consistent. So it depends on if I have information of an upcoming release that I want to share, if I am leading up to a release day, if I have a sales, if I'm participating from a book funnel promotion, like I, because my newsletters are reader forefront and reader specific, I send newsletters that are beneficial to my readers. And if I don't have anything that is beneficial to my readers, I am okay with skipping that week. This is not, and this is a hot take for a lot of authors, but again, I want my readers to be like, oh, there's always something fun, or there's always like a list of book recommendations, or there is a sale of not only her books but other people's book. Like there's always a benefit to open my newsletter, and if I don't have a benefit to open my newsletter, then I don't send a newsletter. But that's just me. That's pretty much just a hot take to a lot of people. um so I see this. My top views were close to 100K in a single TikTok, but content is inconsistent, is all over the place. That's fine. Hello, Jocelyn. Hi, hi, hi. So Eva, see, this is a good example. Eva calls successful anything over 500 views for her. Though since 300 is sort of the minimum cutoff, or used to be, now it's really 250 for me. Something shift, maybe my inconsistency. Also, we have a lot of us, I have noticed the algorithm for TikTok is very different than before. So it might not, it can, it, I will say that it's not you. Just when TikTok had that many views, it was one about my husband's stroke with trending music, and she corrected the view count. That is amazing. Um, this is a recommendation if you guys are into MBTI. Um, Pageant likes it because it focuses on why we make the choices we make, instead of this is the way for everyone and anyway. Not that I have all together, but I found a guy. Definitely. Um, I get derailed too easily, and I think it's because I'm not trained. Uh, Beloved. Um, but I'm an emotional being. I'm joking. I agree. Writing, being a woman, not being forms of transportation, so much in common. Oh, D. uh, that is okay. You don't need to apologize, Patrick. So let's see. Regina is working on a goal of 6K for strap words a week. Also have dogs and piano that demands attention. Let's see. That's a suggestion. Um, Hold on a second. Um, there you go. And JC says I can attest to Enster bluntness, and I love it. I am gonna ask for a hot second, friends. Uh, my mother is calling, so I need to get that. So give me like, I will say 2 to 3 minutes. If you have any more questions or any recommendations for um our friends in chat, please do so. I will be right back. And I'm back. Okay, so this is where I left. Um, Esther has a Caribbean flair. We tell you what's on our mind, hoping you appreciate the honesty. It doesn't mean we don't love you. We just gotta speak our mind. True. True, true, true. Uh, see. So, Substack is, it's hard to explain because they do have kind of like a newsletter kind of section. You can use it as a newsletter. You can use it as a blog. You can use it sort of like a Patreon, like a membership situation because it does allows you to do that. You can use it as a podcast because it does have those um capabilities. Uh, you can use it as a blog. It's a this is a good kind of way to explain it. It's kind of like a social media platform for atheists. It's a social. It is a. It's is a blend of like a social media with like a blog or like an online news paper journal article kind of situation. So so yeah. Uh What are your thoughts on Patreon and coffee? They are different platforms. They both are membership specific, um, but Patreon is very much built, it says it in the name. Patreon is built for you to be a patron, a supporter of a creator. So everything is built for that. Coffee is a little bit more, it offers a little bit more options. It does offer the membership option. It offers the donation option, so people can do like a monthly donation or they can do a one-time donation, kind of like a coffee jar kind of situation. It has a option for you to do commissions, to open for commissions, and it also has a shop. So they a lot of people kind of like compare them as if they were similar, but they are not. Um, a lot of the arguments for the difference, it's people mention a lot of like the fees. You do get higher fees with Patreon compared to coffee, but coffee has a lot of more, like if you just want to do commissions or if you want to open a digital shop, you can do that on coffee. It's a lot harder and complicated to do on Patreon. Um, and it's not built. Patreon is not built to be a shop. Coffee is built to be a shop. A commission page is built to just be like a tip jar and is also built for a membership. Um, I don't have a preference over the other. Um, I have them both just so people have the choice of like if they prefer Patreon and they want to read my serialized fiction, they can go on Patreon. But if they prefer coffee, they can do that on coffee. It's the same amount. They get the same content. I just have them both so people have options. Um, that is that is a good idea. Uh, let's see. What is Repo? Repo is a online quote unquote horror game. Uh, I think so. Maybe okay. So I went out of a van or whatever, and then looked around and got scared and ran back and learned how to hide, and then finally got up the courage to peek around and something moved the car. So I nope right out of the game. So that is so cute. Oh, it is a spooky game. Uh that is oh god, that is so funny. In a adorable, endearing way. Um let's see. Sam, she's gorgeous. Sam, beautiful doggy. We caught her live. Yes. Um um Regina just posted on coffee. See how helpful friends are. There you go. I posted a sample page from my coloring book. Love it. Uh, yeah, that's true. That's true. Let's see. Talking about like, getting started writing and then just writing for longer than that, or maybe having to stop and not wanting to. Um, Regina has a lot of images in her coffee gallery. Um, Definitely. I would rather rack my brain over like any writing or editing than doing other things. 100%. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Also, that is an option with coffee that is not with Patreon. If you're someone who cannot commit to a monthly payment, but you still want to give something to the creator, you can do that in coffee and not in Patreon. So those are my thoughts on that. Okay, so there is there it's gonna be almost 8 p.m. my time. Um if you have any further questions, you got a couple of minutes to send it before I bid you all good night. Hopefully you were able to get some answers, some like nuggets of information from me or from the chat. Hopefully you were able to, if you were planning next month, at least got started thinking of planning August and what are the things that you want to achieve. Um, and definitely double your padding and your padding buffer time. Um, and again, prioritize the writing over the social media. Like, I'm gonna keep saying it. Your newest release is gonna sell your backlist. Just get the books out. That's gonna do you. That's gonna do more for you than posting every day. Um, Thank you for all the advice in chat. You're the loveliest. You're very welcome. Thank you for coming here and engaging with us in all the topics that we have covered. Uh, Thank you. This was a lovely stream. You're very welcome. I'm glad I was able to, through the talking, get you to get a post on coffee. Thank you all for your advice. As someone new just starting out, you can do it. Again, just pick something and just go with it. And later you can worry about maybe adding another project, or maybe you learn that you're you're the one project at a time type of girl. It's okay. Just get the book started and go down that book production pipeline. Um, uh, I Even though I know, setting up like a brand and doing things with intention and thinking things through, it's important. Um, it is very valuable, but at the end of the day, the most important thing is to start. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be the greatest thing, the greatest literature. You just gotta start, friend. Just start. Just if you're at any stage in the book, just finish that and move to the next stage. Um, this is this is something that is talk a lot in the trap box sphere, but I think it can um do in the good to think about that. So in Trappa, because there's so much waiting outside of your control, the thing that every author will say to do is write the next book. You're in the query trenches, write the next book. You're in submission, write the next book. You're waiting on copy edits or proof or final pages, write the next book. There's nothing better for a author to refocus their energy on the next project. It will do you no good to sit and over obsess and fester in spaces that you don't have any control. So go ahead and just write the book. Social media is not working. If social media is not good for your mental health, just, it's okay. Put a pause on it. The biggest thing that you can do for your career is write the next book, produce the next book. So I'm gonna, every time we talk about this, I'm gonna pretty much say the same thing. Just focus on the writing, focus on the book. Uh, a lot of the other things are bells and whistles. Thank you for sharing knowledge, friend. I hope you get your planning figured out. Besides knowing the two things, two projects that need to get, one needs to get halfway done and the other one needs to get started, everything else is kind of like up in the air and it'll have to do. I don't, well, what can I say? Uh, Hello, Nia. You're at the tail end of the stream. I'm sorry. Um, but you're more than welcome to check out the replay later when you have time. And if you don't have time, that's perfectly fine too. So yeah, I don't see any more questions. I'm gonna go ahead and let you all go. Let you skedaddle. I I have a small to-do list that now at 8 p.m. seems like a very long to-do list. Um, so we shall see if I can do something about it. Because I was thinking of going out tomorrow, but we shall see. We shall see. I may just reach out to some of my friends and be like, "Can we play a game?" Who knows? I don't know how checked out my brain is, so I gotta try and do something and go from there. Um, Thank you, Esther, for the stream. It's been wonderful. You're very welcome. No worries, glad I caught the end at least and good advice. It's always nice to have you here, but I know you're a very busy lady. So yeah, I have not scheduled August streams. I will try to do that sometime next week. I just don't know if I'm gonna still be using StreamYard or if I'm gonna give another platform a try. Um, we shall see. Um, yeah. So I should be streaming on August. They're just not up because I have not decided what streaming platform to use. So yeah, I will see you guys around. Have a good rest of your Friday evening and rest of your weekend. Um, yeah, that's it. I don't have anything else. I don't have anything to promote. I'm not gonna be in. I'm not gonna be anywhere else. Uh, so yeah, I'll see you next Friday, probably. Yeah, next Friday. Have a good evening. And because StreamYard is a butt, I'm just gonna go ahead and stare at you while away goodbye, and I hit end stream. And we're gonna awkwardly, maybe not awkwardly, have stare at each other's eyes and soul. And now I'm making it very awkward because I'm just that kind of person. Have a good rest of your evening and weekend. I'll see you guys around. Bye.